What's up, guys? You already know what day it is. We are back for another 3-Minute Thursday, and as you may have heard, pretty recently the Sony A7S Mark III got announced. So we're going to be talking a little bit about that. I'm going to be comparing it to my GH5 because that is what I shoot on, and it's going to be pretty fun conversation, and yeah, it will be great. Let's throw 3 minutes on the clock and get started right now. Boom. The Sony A7S Mark III starts at $3,500 for just the body. It's a little bit expensive, not insane for a camera though. The main headlining feature of this camera though is the 4K 120 frames per second at 10-bit. That's actually very impressive to be able to do that, and if you combine that with the image stabilization, slow that down, that's going to be so buttery smooth, no gimbal needed. That is definitely an incredible feature. Now, it also has dual SD card slots that also work for CFast Type A cards. It sounds like that's a new thing they're rolling out, so that's pretty interesting. It's also got some very new impressive phase detect autofocus, so the autofocus is supposed to be pretty snappy. Obviously, I'm not one of the lucky ones like the people behind me who got to try it out, so I'm just speculating. One thing I do really appreciate that it does have is a USB-C port that can be used for power delivery. On my GH5, it has a USB-C port, but it's for data only. Like, I so wish I could take my MacBook charger and plug that in, but I can't. Another great feature that it does have is 1080p HD at 240 frames per second. So if you're really looking for some smooth shots, you can drop down to 1080p and get some great stuff. Now that we got the main features out of the way, I want to talk about its comparison to the GH5. So the GH5 comes in at $1,300 right now on Amazon for the body only. You're getting 5-axis image stabilization as well. 4K 60, it's not 120, but 60, you can get by with 60 in a lot of scenarios, especially if you need to throw on some optical flow and even slow it down more. 1080p at 180 frames per second using VFR mode, and it still records at 10-bit 400 megabit per second. I will say the A7 III is capable of 600 megabit per second, but the GH5 for less than half the price is still getting you some really good quality at just a slightly lower frame rate. Maddie Hapoya made a great video testing it out, doing some wakeboarding with Chris Howe and stuff, and don't get me wrong, the footage looked incredible, but I couldn't help but watch that video and think, you know, I could get some pretty comparable results with the GH5 for a lot less money. I would say that for a fraction of the price, the GH5 is a great way to get things going. Sony has always been known for their great low light performance, and GH5 being micro four thirds, you're going to lose some of that. So if you do need to film in a lot of low light, looking at one of the Sony cameras, whether it's the A7S Mark III or maybe even the Mark II, since those are going to be coming in at a lower price now, that could definitely be a really smart option. But if you shoot a lot of things outdoors or in well-lit environments, the GH5 is a really great price right now for 4K 10-bit recording at 60 frames a second and 5-axis in-body image stabilization, dual SD card slots, all of that good stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you in the next video or the next 3-Minute Thursday, whatever comes first. Like, subscribe if you like this type of content. Thanks for watching. Peace out.